everybody. It's Cheryl. Welcome back. It's Friday. It is a uh it's fall, right? It's November 1st. I can't believe it. I know you probably can't believe it either. Excuse me. Whoo! Oh boy. Hi there. Hello. My name is Cheryl. Welcome to Muppin Sewing Emporium. We are live to you through the power of the internet. Uh, excuse me. There's another business in town, and when they have their smoker going, and it permeates the building, and it's just, oh my goodness. How are you doing tonight? It's Friday. It is a getting chilly here in beautiful downtown Paducah, Kentucky. It's time. It's sweater weather. I know you're excited. I'm excited. Hope you all had a fantastic Halloween. And my friends, this is going to be a beautiful fall. I'm just ready for the weather. It's getting exciting. Okay. Last week, we made a Moo Deng. Here is Moo Deng in all of her glory. If you're out there and you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Say hello. Tell me where you're watching from. Look at this untamable, uncontrollable pygmy baby pygmy hippo. Moo Deng. Moo Deng is an internet sensation. I enjoyed making this very much. So I'm going to show you what we did here to finish off Moo Deng from last week. So you were here in last week's show, you saw that I had a drawing and that I had fused the pieces of the drawing to the fusible, and then you lay it down, and then as you can see, I have quilted it. So here's how we took care of the quilting on my little baby pygmy hippo Moo Deng. As you can see, I did at least stitch every single one of these sections down, including into all of this white area. So all of that has got some stitching. So let's say this quilt really gets put through the ringer, it will have some ability to stay attached. Now, that said, with the fusible that I prefer, which is Heat and Bond Light, and it comes in the purple package, which we, of course, sell on our website, and you can grab that down here on the scroller. You can see that there. That's where you can buy your Heat and Bond Light, and this fusible has been on hundreds of quilts in my collection, and they have lasted for years. There has been no degradation of the quilt. It feels soft. It is stitchable. That is, to me, the most important thing about this, is that it remains stitchable, because other types of material other than Heat and Bond Light, when you try to stitch through this, it gets very it can clog up your needle. It can get really gummy, and that is not what is happening here. So she has been stitched down. I have added some additional details with thread. Okay, so that was not part of the drawing, but came back in with the thread. So all the little lumpy rolls, all of that got put in with thread. And then I did decide to stitch around Moo Deng completely, with a very narrow zigzag stitch. And I went around twice. Hello, Charlotte. How are you? Hopefully you are having a great day. It's fall, November 1st. And then as you can see, I did the quilting. Now I have not trimmed this down to become a block yet. Um, a lot of times this is kind of how far I get. And then if I decide later on I want to trim it and bind it, that's one thing. If not, I made the quilt and I can move on. I am so glad, Charlotte, that you are having a great day. I like to hear it. It's fantastic. Woohoo! All right, so we've got Moo Deng, the adorable baby pygmy hippo. Like you can either consider them like anger drops, water drops, sort of just surprise, whatever you want to call it. We've got that. Yes, I will probably make this a wall quilt, but where amongst all of my things will it go? I have no idea. I have so much stuff to still get done and get ready and do the things. So we are still working on that. Okay, so Moo Deng, very completed now. And I'm actually pretty excited about that. It was a quick project to show you just how easy it is to go ahead and do those things. I am very excited. If you haven't seen, we have Skipper's Snow Day panel in stock right now. Lots of little super adorable panel book here. Really, really super easy to make. And just takes 1 yard of batting, and that's it. You can make this whole book with just 1 yard of batting, and it's so cute. It's really, really adorable. You've got this lady who takes pictures of her trained squirrel, doing all kinds of things. And so Skipper's Snow Day is one of the panels. Again, you can get that in the links, and also see it scrolling by. This is one of the newest panels that we got. All right, now I have a giant pile of things over in the corner of this office. This is one of 2 offices in our building. And I forget where I was when I picked this up, but I'm actually really excited to work on this. Okay, so this is called Chicken Scratch Embroidery, and it is of a chicken, which the irony of that is not lost on me. A chicken and some eggs, including one that looks like it's shooting right out of this chicken's butt. So also I have to admit that this is more of a rooster than a chicken, because a lot of the roosters have the coxcomb, the thing, and most hens do not. So I just find it really funny that this is a very progressive chicken. So this is a full kit. It does not say on the outside of this when this kit is from, but let me tell you, it's old. It's been around a while, and I am pretty interested in trying this out. Now, there are quite a few quilters who are using chicken scratch embroidery in their quilts, and it's kind of a thing. It's I am not the only person doing this. um I don't know that I will turn this into a quilt block, but I am willing to give this a try. So we've got some pretty simple, what looks like simple embroidery stitches, and this thing has been sealed for as long as it's been made. So whoever made it hasn't, this is it. This is how long it's been around. So with that, with no further ado, it does look like somebody tried to open it at one point. Um, but I'm going ahead and opening this crusty dusty thing because like if you're not willing to open these, like that's how you find them sitting in a quilt box, millions of years later. And no one has purchased it, and it's just sitting there forever. So it does look like this needle that they gave me has a little bit of rust on it, so I am not going to use this. The thing that came with it, I am going to put it away and just pretend like I've never seen it because it is pretty rusty. It came with, oh boy, that is some. Does this look like weird on your screens, or is it just my screen that's making it look wavy? If you can let me know in the comments what that looks like, I would appreciate it, because on my screen it's doing that weird thing with that, fabric does when it's, when you're looking at a suit on a guy on the news, and it's got that sort of weird pattern. Okay, so here is the paper. There is the chicken we're going to make. This is what it comes with. It comes with a piece of cardboard, to keep it all in there. And then it comes with these instructions. Let's see how good these instructions are. Okay, so here is the pattern. It does look like it's been in a folder for decades. It's probably been in a box. But this is pretty old. It does not have a date on it. I looked like along here, it says made and printed in the USA, but it does not have a date for like what year it's been made, right? Or so when I can't tell you when they made this. Doesn't even show. Okay, so here's what they're saying. Where did I get it? Good question, Charlotte. I got this at probably some kind of flea market thing. So I go to a lot of quilt guilds as part of my job. And what happens is these quilt guilds usually have some sort of table in the back of things that they don't want anymore, or they do what is called like a rummage sale or something of that nature. So that is what this is from. This is from a rummage sale type thing. And so no, this was not one of my great aunt Beck's collections. My great aunt did do a lot of these types of things, but this was not. This I got this for 50 cents at some quilt guild, and it was still sealed and it had everything in it. So I decided to say, what the heck? Okay, so the first page, I'm just going to read through these directions. The first page is telling me how to prepare my fabric. You want to start the stitching with the four corners of your design. So this is a lot then like counted cross stitch, and then you will have like just the area within that you are going to stitch. How long have I had it? Um, oh gosh, at least a couple of years. Oh, I if it's in here, then I have purchased it since I have been in Paducah, if that makes any sense. If I did, if I hadn't, if it was in my other, if it was in my storage, um, and I do have a lot more of these kinds of things in storage, then it would have been in my storage unit, and so it's not here. Okay, so then it does say, please read through all of the instructions before beginning to stitch. So you know how people are, right? They don't read all of the instructions before you start. Okay, so they have two. It says proper completion depends on preparing your fabric. The instructions for finding the border of your piece and the location of the starting stitch are written beneath that diagram. Take your time and then recheck that you have counted the squares properly. So, oh, it looks a little wavy. So it is, the fabric itself is gingham. And so for those of you that don't know what gingham or gingham, gingham is a checkered fabric that most of us look at and think of like red and white tablecloths. Okay, so that is typical for gingham, but gingham can come in any color. And in this case, the gingham is yellow. Now, traditional gingham, the actual gingham, is a plaid, technically, and it has a warp and a weft thread. Okay, and I'm looking here, and this does have a warp and a weft thread. Okay, and so we're going to try to bring this up so that you can see that. So if you can see that there's like, so if I peel off a couple of strands in this direction, okay, they come off yellow, and then if I keep going, I will be able to peel off rows in white. And so essentially it's the way it's woven is it's alternating between yellow and white in both directions. So that's how you get gingham. And so you can see that some of the squares, it's harder to see. You need like a whiter background. You can see sort of some of them are darker yellow than others. That's because the weave crosses over into the white. It's not Gangnam, like Gangnam style. It's gingham style. So maybe we should remake the song with like a Little House on the Prairie type song, right? So this is gingham. Now, the thing about a lot of these techniques that were done on gingham, they have the squares are already there. And so all you're doing is counting the squares across and down to stitch out essentially this little chicken. Okay, and the chicken piece here. Okay, so here's where they're telling me that I should start. Okay, is my starting stitch should be 3 up, 3 up, and 6 over from from the starting point C here. So that's what we have to figure out first, is the range. That's what all these directions tell me to do. And then it's telling me to do the stitches. So, okay, so proper completion of my design depends carefully. Preparing your fabric for stitching. Please refer to the stitching diagram on the front. Okay, locating your starting stitch. Take your time and then recheck Oh boy. That's how you know we're going to be in trouble. Recheck that you have counted the squares properly. If you are patient with this step, your success is almost guaranteed. Not fully guaranteed, almost guaranteed. Okay, so chicken scratch is 3 basic stitches according to these instructions. I don't know. I've never done it before. Okay, so here's the chicken scratch. Okay, we have what's called a double cross. Okay, as the name implies, this stitch is actually made up of 2 crosses, one right over the other. First do diagonal AB, then return with CD, then do EF, and then do GH. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's basically this little star stitch. For the neatest look on your finished piece, work all of the vertical stitches first, then return to finish the horizontal stitches. Okay, so that's really only one. Is that one stitch? Okay, so I'm seeing the crisscross, or the double cross as they call it, right? That's, you can see that orangey one there. That's a double cross. There's double crosses throughout. Okay. There's a lot of double crossing on here. And then there's this weaving stitch. A white circle of floss woven under each of the 4 running stitches that meet at a white square. This makes a circle of floss on top of the white square. Start by bringing your needle through the back of the fabric along the end of a running stitch. Weave the needle under the 4 stitches, working on top of the fabric only. Okay. The circle is not sewn, just merely looped under. To end, put the needle down into the same hole that it started in. Okay, so I can do that. Do not pull the circle or you'll distort. Okay, so through A, then under 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back down. Okay. It says here, instructions: when in doubt, refer to your color photograph. Oh, gee, thanks. Your stitches will look best if you use an embroidery hoop. Oh boy. All right, let me see. I'm looking around this room. Do I have an embroidery hoop handy? I probably do. All right, so you have received 1 piece of fabric sufficient to make the pillow. It should be done on the top half of your item. Oh, I see. Okay, so they want me to do the chicken on this half and then use it gingham. And then use the bottom for the back of the thing. Okay, so do not start in the center of the piece of fabric. See, this is why they say to read all the directions, because I would have just put that chicken like right there. But no, they want the chicken up here so that I have room. Okay, so gingham fabric has a direction to it. When positioned properly, we'll measure 8 blocks to the inch horizontally. Position your fabric so the longest dimension runs top to bottom. Okay, fabric is now positioned in the same as your charted design. Keep the fabric in this direction. Okay, whatever. Do your double cross outline stitches first using the darkest colored floss in the kit. So if we look at the chicken, okay, there's an outline and they want you to do those first. So then you're just containing all the white work stitches inside the chicken. This sounds really horrible if you just take audio of this and you're not paying attention to the rest. Okay, so they say to do the darker double cross stitches first, and that'll make all the other stitches easier to find. Double cross stitch usually falls in a white square. You might want to take a pencil mark showing the position of each of these double cross before you start. This will help so that you have, stitching goes faster. Okay. There are any other double cross stitches to be made using a colored floss? Do it now. Otherwise, you have all white and you just do the rest. With white floss, work all of the vertical running stitches and then the horizontal. Okay, so we got to look at this because I mean, it is kind of like that. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, some of these are written. I mean, we're gonna find out really quickly. Okay, so the thing about this is that they're like, refer to the color picture. Well, it's a good thing that this package was sealed, or I would have never had this drawing to refer to, because obviously they did not spend the money on hot to trot color directions, so that's fun. So then when you're looking at this, they say that the white, so we've got these circle things. That is really weird. So they kind of look, now, I mean, look at how big this picture is. It's like 4 inches by like 5 inches. It's not very big, right? And so I'm kind of looking at these like, I don't know, 60-year directions, 50-year-old directions. And I'm trying to figure out, okay. So I kind of think I know what's going on. I kind of think. I mean, we're kind of looking at a small thing, but I mean, this check, this gingham is really tiny. So it's pretty small. He did say it was what, 8 he? I don't know if it's a he that drew the directions because it feels like a he. Said that there would be 8 blocks. Yes, that is true. 8 blocks to the inch. So this is a 1/4 inch or 1/16 of an inch. 1/16 of an inch. So Charlotte says it looks like they used another fabric and then stitched the little stars. No, that is the chicken. We're gonna find out. All right. So you have to pick one of the sides as the top and the bottom of this thing, and there's like a little bitty rust stain from the needle, so we're going to try to ignore that, and I'm going to see if one side looks better than the other for that little rust stain, but it looks like that is going to be the best we can do. Well, let's put this under here because it's really making that like fuzzy, wavy, thing in my on my screen. Okay, so the first thing we've got to do is lay out the chicken. We have to across and then down. Find the solid. Okay, this is no joke. They are not playing around with this. They're like serious. Find the solid white square closest to the upper left-hand corner. This is marked with an X on your diagram. Okay, there it is, right there. Ignore any cut squares along the edge of your fabric. Duh. Okay. Count 1 square down and 2 1 white square down and 2 white squares over. That is your square A. All right. Now they say to do a running stitch, but you know me. We're not going to do that. We're going to use a pencil. Because why not? Okay, so we find the X. Okay, so that's right here. There's our X. Let's come on in. You guys can see what I'm doing here. And then we need to count one white square, one over, and one down. And this right here, that is A. Okay. That's what it says. Put a dot in the corner of A. All right. From white square A, count across 55 boxes. Oh, geez. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Boy, I tell you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is 40. How many did it say? 55. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 50. And then 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is B right there. Okay. So we've got two. This is our field here. Okay. So now we count down to 35 boxes. All right. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, this is C. And then we would just assume that you do the same down the other two sides. So, yeah, I want my 50 cents back too. Now, I also have to wonder because in the picture, this brown fabric or this brown thread is like much more orange here. So I feel like I've gotten like like that sun faded, whatever here. So I've got the length here, and I'm not going to. It says to do like a running stitch along here. I'm not going to do that because honestly, if this is all going to be inside of the chicken pillow, whatever this is, you're never going to see this stuff, right? And so I'm kind of okay. Now, it also told me that I could mark all of this. So, right, I could just mark all of these stitches on here with a heat erasable pen. I don't know what you think about that idea. But now we've got like the barriers within the chicken. So the chicken's going to go into this little tiny area, this hole that we got going on here. And it looks like, you start down here with this egg first. So I think that's a perfect starter point. So now let's figure out if somewhere in this studio Cheryl has a hoop. So, as I look around, let's see here. All right. If I were a hoop, where would I be? Those of you who have not been to the studio in some time or ever, you probably don't realize that this room back here is kind of a hot mess right now. Well, not just right now, but kind of all the time. And it's because we haven't done a lot to fix it up, but I am working on that. And I just got back from teaching somewhere else. So, of course, we've got a little bit of stuff everywhere. So this is my typical go-to bag when it comes to stuff, and it's not in there. So let me just see. I'll go to the other side. When I retire, I'll come help you. I agree. I need the help. It's kind of a hot mess. Okay, so there is a hoop over here. I am sure I can just remember where you are. All right. This is what happens when I don't prepare ahead of time for the thing. Okay. Is this the hoop I want? Yes. Aha. We found the box of hoops. Okay. So here's another thing about being in here. It's full of stuff. And some of these are boxes from my old sewing room. So here's what we've got. We've got a bag of hoops that say old hoops, 25 cents. Sounds like a plan. So we've got this springy little hoop deal here. And it's just a matter of getting it to work. This is the kind that has like a really cool thing in it, piece of cork around here. It's pretty dope. So this is the size that we're going to need, and we're going to need it down here by option C. So we're just going to take this hoop and we're going to push it onto here. We're trying not to distort too many of these ginghams. Okay, we don't want them to be like pulled completely out of direction. So now we've found a hoop. It's a little hoop. I have already discarded the needle that came with it. And guess what we're going to use today? My friends, that's right. We're going to be using the Get to the Point heirloom sewing needles. So we've got that here as well. Okay. So it did tell me to start with the chicken scratch, the double crosses in the darker thread first. Okay, so now we gotta mess with this thread. Marcia, great question. What size gingham is it? It is 1/16 of an inch gingham. So 1/16. So gingham comes in different gingham, the check boxes, okay? And these boxes are each a 16th of an inch. I know, you're probably like, how do you know that, Cheryl? I just do. Okay. So the chicken scratch uses these two basically like 3 stitches. And I don't know how much floss. 2 strands. Okay, it does say 2 strands on the directions. Good thing I'm reading them. Uh, this is the entertaining part. Okay, so now we're going to separate 2 strands, and that's what we're going to start with. And we've got the strands here, and we've got the needle, and we're going to thread both of those through the eye of one of our Get to the Point heirloom sewing needles. And just like that, voila, right there, right into the spot where we need it. Okay, so these double crosses are pretty straightforward. They are corner to corner, and then up and to the up, up and to the side. It's this shape, but in that little box. Okay, so here's the directions. We're going to do the egg first, and it looks like it is on a white square. So it looks like all of those outline ones are on a white square. So you can see these chicken, the outline of the chicken is only on white squares. So that's helpful. Okay. So we're going to count over. We're going to go up 3, and we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's on this square right here is we're going to start our chicken scratch. So we got to put a knot in our thread. We have a YouTube video on how to do the quilter's knot, which is the knots I typically use. All right. And so as it's showing here in the diagram, it's saying our first stitch should be this stitch here on the bottom of the egg, which is going to be that stitch right there on the bottom of the egg. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's this one right here. So I'm coming up. I had to move all the extra fabric out of the way. And I'm coming up, and it said to kind of do left to right. Now I've got a strand there. Right to left. South to north. Okay. And then east to west. Is it east to west? Yeah, it is. No. West to east. Okay. That's my first double cross chicken scratch embroidery stitch right there. It's yeah. Okay. So on to the next one according to the pattern. And now we're gonna you're just gonna follow that a lot of this is like smocking, except it's more like cross stitch meets smocking meets um yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is chicken scratchy. I guess the chicken scratch is supposed to be like just like the hash marks, that like that's supposed to be like what you think of chicken scratch with the chicken feet prints. I don't know. But that is what they've got going here. Okay, so then if we look at the pattern for this egg, okay, we've got these two done, and now we got to go up and across to here. Okay, the egg. We're making a chicken scratch egg. Which came first? The chicken scratch chicken or the chicken scratch egg? In this case, the egg is coming first. I know that's really silly, but it is what it is. Now, I do, I guess, understand the importance of the fact that the stitches have to go in the correct order, or this won't look as nice as it should for these cross hatches. And absolutely on a larger uh, gingham, these stitches would look much different, right? They wouldn't have that, um, they wouldn't be as tiny. They would be more spread out over the gingham check, if that makes sense. So, um, and when I finish the, well, this was supposed to be orange, but it is definitely brown. Like, it um, is not pretty. I mean, it's just not, it's not orangey like the thing. Kathy, grandma used to do this on aprons. Yes, this was very popular on aprons. And you can still see people doing this today. Um, there are quilters out there doing chicken scratch embroidery on blocks and then incorporating this block like into the quilt. So, and I love that you still have the aprons. That is, I love that. I am very excited about that. That is so cool. I wish that this is what, yes, this is chicken scratch. This is indeed chicken scratch embroidery. So this is, if you missed it earlier, we're doing a kit that has got to be at least 40 years old, if not older. I would say that this is at least 40 years old. So, it as the kids say, it's hella old. And it is definitely, yeah, I didn't really give it a good sniff. It doesn't smell bad. But I've had kits that do smell bad. All right, so we're working on the egg in the picture, this little egg down here. Not the one coming out of its butt, although I think that's hilarious. And then once we finish the brown stitches here on this egg, then I'm gonna go right into the white, because I wanna jump in on this. bad boy. I'm gonna jump into the deep end of this chicken scratch embroidery nonsense. Okay, so we're gonna come back out a little bit so I can bring it back up. I want it to be in focus. So, you know, there's essentially like two pluses, this double cross stitch that you're doing, and, you know, left, right, up, down, side to side. And that's the 4 stitches of the egg. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie and clip this. And I literally just had a pair of scissors here. Where did they go? Hey, yeah. There they are. All right. So, Jerry, you're like, it's an egg. It is. It's a chicken scratch egg. So, so I'm going to keep this piece because you don't know how much thread they actually give you. So we're going to keep that. And now we're going to follow the directions here. And the running stitch, okay. So here's the thing. Like, they're also showing these X's on the white, and I'm guessing that that's filler, but we'll find out here. All right, so we're about to do the weave stitch, which requires a running stitch first. And, you know, they're like, do all your horizontal stitches first, then do all your your vertical stitches first. I don't know. It said to do one or the other. Let's review. Gingham has a fabric. Yeah. Double cross outline stitches first. Yeah, okay, we did that. Running stitch. Vertical. Then do horizontal. Yeah, okay. I mean, it's my project. This thing's been sitting in somebody's, you know, sewing room for 45 years, and I'm sitting here making it after all this time. Somebody's got to be pleased out there in the world. All right. So I've got my needle, got it made, doing it. And it looks to me like all the horizontal or the vertical stitches start here. So you basically stitch towards the white block like that. And then the next one just kind of comes up from there. And then I can move over here and do this one. You kind of want these to be pretty straight in line with the gingham, because if it's crooked, you'll know, you know. So those are all the horizontal running stitches. Sorry, vertical. I am directionally impaired. Never learned my right from my left. Anyone who has known me for any length of time knows that. All right, so we've got these cross horizontal stitches. And there we go. There's just 3 of them. There we go. And last one. All right, so that's the running stitches in the chicken. Okay, so you see those lines? That's where we made those. Okay, so we've got all those done. And now we can do this magical weave thing. So what it said was start by bringing your needle just alongside the end of the running stitch. Okay, so just alongside the end of the running stitch here, which we're doing right there. And then you weave, and this is where I'm going to do this. I'm actually going to take the end of the needle, the back end of the needle, and go under and under and under, and then I guess back under, and then I go right back down into the same hole that I came out of. Voila! Chickens scratched. Okay, so let's do the next one. And we're gonna come up through, back into the needle, under, 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 under one more, and back down. Kind of need to move the thread out of the way. And right into that same spot if you can. So there's the 2 weaves. I don't think they look half bad. What do you think? Okay, so then on our picture here, okay, it shows that there are 2 filler stitches, these 2 X's. But when I look at the picture, come on now, get into focus there. They look like little cross stitches. Charlotte says, wow, pretty cool. I agree. Thank you. Mary, it's good to see you. You say they look great. I appreciate that. To me, my friends, those here, I know it looks fuzzy on the screen, but close up in my hand, they look like actual double crosses. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, so then the first double cross is right here at this edge of the chicken. Oops, I'm already doing this one backwards. So, sorry, chicken. You're going to have one stitch that's run the other way. And then, now I guess I could just do it as an X, but that's not what the picture shows. So these are double crosses and weaves. That's all they are. So you've got the double cross, the running stitch, and the weave. And the weave just is what goes around the double cross, or the running stitches, sorry. I tell you. All right, so then down here, this is our last little filler stitch for this egg. it is important to keep it from stitching the fabric to itself. Ask me how I know. But these little filler stitches then, oh, I did it backwards already. Again, twice now. So, on this one, I'm just going to fake that it goes under. See how I cheated there? You can cheat too. Chicken scratch, embroidery. There's that is the egg, my friends. That is this here. We made it. Looks like it needs more, but I guess it doesn't. It looks good enough. Marsha! I love when you show the vintage techniques. Hey, all of this stuff is on my list too. Like, for those of you that are, always wanted to try that. Yeah, this isn't so bad. And I'm here to try to do it too, All right, so we got the egg. It's very brown. It's a brown egg. But that is the egg according to the picture. Those are the stitches that are there, and I made them. And so then, in order to do the rest of it, you just sort of like count up and over from, following these directions. Here's the chicken outline, okay? And you have to be careful because they have, and that's, I think, what's missing from this diagram and on these directions in its entirety, okay? Nowhere in here does it say what color each of these stitches should be. So that's why I think they used the star pattern for the actual double cross, and then an X is the double cross in white, so that you can keep them apart. Because look at the outline, and then in here is the wing, okay? And the wing is only in certain places. It's not everywhere. So that's why I think they have you do all the brown first, so that you can count and see where in the hell all of it is. I mean, I'm sorry, but that egg looks like it's shooting out of that chicken's butt. But so that's no pun intended. So we're gonna, this is gonna be a couple, we're gonna try doing more of this next week. Okay. I'm excited about learning vintage chicken scratch. I don't know about you. That's why they say to keep looking at this picture. Thank goodness this kit was complete when I bought it, or I would be in real trouble with just using this. These are some terrible directions without this. Just gonna say that right now. These are necessary. And I do have I have some chicken scratch. I have a chicken scratch quilt, but you're gonna have to tune in next week to see it. So that's the hook, my friends. We finished the egg. The egg literally did come before the chicken in this case. And we're going to pick up this little project next week. I will see all of you on Friday of next week. I hope you get some quilting or sewing or something that you love to do done. Have a fantastic weekend. I hope you're all having had a great Halloween. Happy November. I will see all of you next week. Take care.